Hey guys, we're live on the moon. It's late Friday night, 11:49 p.m. and the 27th of July, Friday, and I'm camped out over the horse. If you look, I have these crazy names for everything on the moon. Uh, kind of centered is an object that really does kind of look like a horse. It's in Mare, and let me put the horse centered. You can see its head and then its 2 feet. And matter of fact, let me turn the contrast up a little bit just so you can see it better. See the horse, the 2 feet? Well, if you can't see the horse, that's just the way it is. But what interests me is something that caught my fancy a long time ago, and it's centered right now. I called it a needle ship. I thought for sure this was one of those alien spaceships that landed on the moon and crashed. Of course, I learned later that it wasn't. See that straight thing right next to that crater in the center? And it does look like a kind of a sword, you know, a buccaneer sword with a handle. And I called it a needle ship, and I was sure that that was an alien craft, but it's not. It's a fissure on the moon. It's a fissure on the moon, and I'll just zoom in as best I can so you can see that. See that line thing? I'm sure that that's just a fissure on the moon. Anyhow, my name is Bill Bryson. I'd like to welcome you to my Moon Musings, where I try to get out every night, although lately I haven't had too much luck because of the weather. Isn't that beautiful, guys? You say, how in the hell do you get pictures like that on the moon? I got a telescope and I never can get nothing. Well, I really don't have any secrets, guys. Let's explore this area a little bit. That crater right there centered is Eratosthenes, and to the left of that is the large crater on the left is Copernicus. And if you take a look, let's just matter of fact, let's zoom in on this. This is actually really pretty. And look at the mountains around Copernicus. Look at those mountains, guys. Isn't that some incredible photography? You just need to pause and refresh and take a look at what I'm showing you. This is really something else. Matter of fact, let's zoom in a little bit more. You can actually see, this is what I call a hornet nest crater. Albeit a large one, but see, it's on the shadow line, and we do see details that we normally wouldn't see. Matter of fact, I'll zoom in as close as I can. That's about as close as I can get. You can see, though, there are atmospherics working against us, so I'll back out a little bit. And look at the detail of the surface detail. See how it comes in and out? That's the atmospherics. I'm using a $68 webcam made by Logitech called a C910. It's very sensitive to color. And if there's any color at all on the moon, it's going to bring it out. And that's what we're looking at. And let's go up the spine. Now, isn't that, look at that. That is Motes Apennius. Montes Apennius. Apenninus. I call it the Alps. And matter of fact, let me turn autofocus on and see if we can just see if it kicks in or not. It's not the best night, but that's really a pretty. Matter of fact, let's just zoom in on it. Isn't that an incredible shot? Look at the shadow. To give you an idea of what really we're looking at, guys, see that crater? Let me try to center it. See that crater right below the ridge line that is, let me back out a little bit. There's two that little crater, there's a crater centered, and the little crater to the right of that crater is called Aratus crater. And I'm just going to show you really why it's so difficult for me to get all this stuff. Aratus crater is 10 clicks, 10 kilometers wide, which means it's 6 miles wide. Okay? In other words, that little crater that's just about centered is 6 miles wide. Now let's zoom in on that just so you get an idea how close I can get with this telescope. It's really a pretty good scope. And let's try to focus it a bit. Yeah, it's just not gonna. I'll back out. But, you know, if you take a look at those little dots in the area right above and everything, those are probably a mile wide. So we're getting in really pretty close. We're really getting pretty damn close. Okay, the large crater that is centered right now is Archimedes. And let's kind of go over to the shadow line now. I'm going to try to just kind of work my way up the shadow line and to show you things. It's a real bright moon. I had to put in a moon filter. I hope you all have been doing well. I've been fighting the weather down here. We've had rain, and then we've had wind. We have clouds, and that is Plato. And look at all the little mountains on the mare. And it's Mare Imperium. And since we're here, and I had a friend of mine on Facebook was asking me a question about this guy. He said, Bill, there's a cut. There's a line in the mountains. Yes, there is. And again, that's part of it's called Montes Alps. The ones below are called Motes Apennius. These are Montes Alps, or these are part of the Alps too. But if you see that cut that's centered, it kind of goes horizontal with the screen. That is not, I don't believe, man-made or alien-made. I believe that was the work of an explosion, a meteor impact. And it, it was just a pretty powerful one, and just took a slice out of the mountain range. Let's continue kind of working our way up. I was hoping I would get out tonight. It's been a while, and I did want to watch the Olympics. And let's do this since we're here. Let's work our way toward the edge, and then I'm going to go to the Sea of Serenity. Oh, there's the ferret. See the ferret right there on the right? It's got two little eyeballs and kind of like a little mustache thing. Can't see the mustache, but you can see his little nose. And right there in front of us is called the Sea of Serenity. And see how it's a bluish flavor? I don't know why the astronomers don't show you this color. There's a distinctive color on the moon. And the Sea of Serenity always has this bluish tinge. And then the Sea of Tranquility, see the line of demarcation, and then above this other sea is a different, color. And a matter of fact, there you can see the shadow, the distinctive shadow on the Alps. Isn't that beautiful? And this is a Sea of Tranquility. Now see that stuff in the middle? I've looked at this before, and I've called it kind of like structures. I really don't know what it is. Let's work with the controls a little bit. I'm going to turn the contrast up just a little bit to bring out some of that detail. Okay. See those lines that kind of go straight and crooked, and to me these are weird. And let's turn the brightness down a little bit and turn the contrast down a little bit. See, kind of centered those lines. Now let's zoom in and see what we can see, if we can see any more detail on that. No, you really can't. There's a line of demarcation between the Sea of Serenity on the top and the Sea of Tranquility on the bottom. Now let's do this. Let me go to my my map and see that large crater that's kind of centered, and see the one that's to the 3 o'clock of that? That's Dawn's crater, and that is 18 kilometers. 18 kilometers wide. Center it. It's kind of centered now. And that's 11 miles. Now what that means is, see those little craters below dawns, those little tiny craters that you see on the surface, those are probably a mile wide. That'll give you an idea how close we are, guys. You say, what in the hell are you using to get that close? Okay, well, I'm using a Logitech webcam camera. I'm using a Teleview. Teleview is the company that makes it. Pan optic, 19 millimeter lens. And let me turn the contrast back down. And I'm also using, for this particular shot, I'm using a Teleview 2.5 times PowerMate Barlow. So if you wanted to replicate exactly what I'm doing here, all you would have to do is get those. As a matter of fact, I said that little crater called Dons, which is centered, is 11 miles wide. Let's zoom in on that to show you how close we can get. And see those little craters below Dons? Those are all probably a mile wide. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this out, the Barlow out, and I'm going to put in just the pan optic lens, and we'll pick it up on the back side so I can give you a better spread of a picture. Before I do, let me take it down to Closeups. I did see, I looked at this a little earlier, and you're all familiar with Closeups. See, Closeups is right there. It's that crater. See that crater centered? It's a big crater, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little craters in them. See, we're getting a pretty good shot of. Let's zoom into that. This is a UFO hotspot, guys. Closeups. Isn't that amazing? We fill the screen up with Closeups, and you can see some detail in the mountains. But I'll go up before I shut it down and go back up to Copernicus. And see, look at the surface detail around Copernicus is coming up at our 12. Look at that detail. Isn't that beautiful, guys? It really is beautiful. And Copernicus is right there at the top at the 12 o'clock centered. Okay, hang with me, guys. I'm going to take the Barlow out, and we'll look at it with just a 19 millimeter. Okay, guys, we're back. You know, the best way to watch these videos is on a high-definition television set. Preferably, you know, a 54-inch. What I do is I have a MacBook, and isn't that absolutely stunning? And look at the Alps. You can see all the accentuated shadows. And again, that's Archimedes is that large crater that's kind of centered. And Plato is the large one at the top. By the way, if you have not seen the movie, Jose Escamilla has a new movie out. It's called Celestial. And I'm humbled that he allowed me the privilege of a small part in that movie. I would encourage you all to see it. And this is exciting, guys. I got a website now where I can, you know, post blogs. And isn't that beautiful? It's called www.billbryson, BILLBRYSON, isn't that beautiful? .com. And you can go to the movie Celestial from that website for sure. And you can check out my blogs. And I've been posting some things that are, real interesting. I found a photo that was taken before Neil stepped on the moon at NASA headquarters, with Neil posing, and in the background they had a color picture of the moon. And I blew it up. It's really, isn't that something? And look at the color. Look at the color. Matter of fact, let's go over to the edge and kind of work our way down. So check out my website, and I will be making comments on my videos. And normally what I'll do is I'll look at the video, and there's Tycho centered. Matter of fact, let's see if we can go in any closer. Yeah, we can't really see very much. I ran across a guy on YouTube that actually has cities that he saw. Cities in Tycho, and I mean you can see the streets and the whole deal, guys. And I posted a little blog on him and took some pictures of his video and pointed to his YouTube video. And there's Clevis. There's Clevis. I was out there when I was changing the lens. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely stunning. And I'm running out of moon. It's kind of running into the house. I was going to go out earlier, but I got kind of sucked into the excitement of the Olympics. And when I heard that Hey Jude was going to be part of the, now just pause to refresh, guys. This is High Adventure. High Adventure with Copernicus. And now let's just experiment. Now I showed you what it was like when I zoomed in. Every telescope has its maximum effective power. My maximum effective power is 480 power. And when I was zoomed in, I was way past that. But let's zoom in with this 19 millimeter. Now see, when we were 2.5 times closer with that Barlow. That's what a Barlow does. If you're new to astronomy, a Barlow basically will take whatever lens you have. Let's say you have a 10 power lens on your telescope, and then you put a Barlow on there. Well, you'll have, if it's a 2 times Barlow, you'll have 20 power. But in the process of doing that, isn't that beautiful, guys? Look at that. This is one of the prettiest pictures we've ever seen of the Alps. Absolutely stunning. My brother looked at this tail. Eratosthenes crater is centered, and see the tail kind of, it looks like a DNA. Matter of fact, let me zoom in. You might be. He said, "Well, Bill, that's got to be the aliens had a DNA on the moon. It looks like a DNA coils." And, well, I don't know if it looks like that. It looks to me like it's just part of the mountains. But every time you look at something, if you looked at my last video, for example, I thought for sure it was a rocket ship. It's probably just a stack of rocks, or maybe a tube rock, or who knows what it is. That's one thing about me that you'll find if you watch my videos. They're all very unique. Every one of them is unique. And they all stand on their own. And if you want to follow the history of my experiences, start at the beginning and work your way up. and I try different things. When I first started, I was using a Chinese camera, for example, that was high definition. Then I worked my, isn't that beautiful, guys? And look at the color. There's Plato. Isn't it? I mean, it's just beautiful. I go back and watch them myself. By the way, on my new website, I am posting links to all my videos. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm posting all of my photos. Every time I do a video now, I take photos of it. And I'm going to go back and take photos of all the other videos that I've made. They'll all be posted on that website. And you'll always be able to find the link to Celestial. And if you haven't watched that movie, Jose is a genius, absolute genius. And he basically proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the moon has color. And, he uses some of my video to help him prove that. But these Celestine photos, they will blow you away, guys. They will blow you away. And what are we looking at right there? Here's your geography lesson. I'm going to be cutting this off in a little bit. What is that? That's the Alps. Now you watch these videos and you're going to learn astronomy. I mean, not to be a physicist or anything, but or an astronomy master, but you're going to learn Boy Scout astronomy. Archimedes is that large crater kind of centered. The Alps, see how they're curving that way? The last time they were curved another way. That's because the moon does rotate over a period of an evening. And what's that mare right there? Right there, coming off that sea, coming off of the Alps. That's the Sea of Serenity. And see how it's kind of got a brownie, or a greenish tinge or a brownish tinge. I'm colorblind, so I don't know exactly what. I do know it's not blue, because when you go through the line, what I call the line of demarcation, I have funny names for everything on the moon, guys. Funny names. The line of demarcation, and then below that, that is called the Sea of Tranquility. And I believe there are structures below that, below the surface. I found another interesting article that I posted on my website. A Russian back in the 60s was awarded, we'll just kind of glide by. Look at that. Look at the blues on the right, and then I mean, this is just absolutely stunning. Pause to refresh. If I was a drinking man, I would pour myself a double scotch and enjoy it, but I don't drink. I drink coffee. So I'll have myself some black Tiger coffee. Good. These are absolutely stunning pictures. I would encourage, if you're an astronomer, or if you're just a hobbyist and you have a telescope, let's say you have a Meade 4.5-inch reflector, and you haven't used it for a long time. It's just sitting in the closet. There's Clavis coming up. I would encourage you to do this. Go out and buy one of these cameras, the C910. You can buy it for $68. And you can actually connect it with any lens with like 60 degrees or more. You can use super glue if you want. I have an adapter, but you can use super glue, or like when I first started, I used tape. Electric tape. Just tape it to the lens. And then with that, you'll be able to do what I'm doing. And see, with this camera, see, what I can do is I can zoom out. See how I zoom out? Or I can zoom in. So, I mean, isn't that neat? So I have absolutely full control over the camera from my desk. Not only that, I can go out on the porch and put in different lenses. And see, normally when you buy a camera for a telescope, it's the lens. You can't you can't even use it with lenses. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to kind of zoom in a little bit, and then we're going to shut her down. Good session, guys. I hope you guys are doing well and that you, you know, watch that movie, Celestial. I think it'll be really a great encouragement. It should inspire you to want to get out and look at the moon. That's what it should do. And go to my website and check it out. Especially after I do a Moon Musings video. I'm going to have a blog up there, and I'll talk about things. Normally I'll watch the video again and I'll discover things that I didn't see during the initial filming. In the meantime, wishing you and yours clear skies, guys.